Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's July 22nd, 2013. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock Shimbino. We had another mixed trade in Chicago today. Let's start with a fire tip to see how we ended. Old crop corn was down 3 1/4 cents. New crop down 2 3/4. Old crop soybeans, the August contract, up 29 1/2. Soybeans for the new crop up 14 1/2. Wheat in Chicago down 4 3/4, and Kansas City was off 3 1/4 as well. You know, Logan, we did have another mixed trade here today. Looks like the old crop soybeans continues to be volatile and continues to lead to the upside.
Yeah, you know, we saw exceptional strength out of that market in today's action. First time trading above $15 a bushel in a very long time there, and certainly helping drive things for soybean was the soybean meal contract for August delivery that traded up lock limit in today's action. Certainly we've heard a lot of grumblings that processors are having an exceptionally hard time finding old crop beans or meal right now, and that's certainly been reflected in the basis levels that we're seeing right now. On average on Friday, cash price for July delivered soybeans was sitting 62 cents over the August contract. And if we think back to July, when we saw that contract go off the board, we had an exceptionally strong basis trading above the board. And moving into first notice date, we saw basis back off quite a bit and futures rally. It wouldn't be surprising if we saw something similar to that here coming into first notice date for August. Keep in mind that's going to be sitting there on July 31st. So certainly today's move felt very similar to what we saw in the July contract. Wouldn't be surprising if we saw a little bit more strength out of that August contract here as we approach first notice date, as I said. But you know, Brock, kind of a two-sided trade here in terms of old crop, new crop. Certainly some strength out of the old crop contracts, but new crop is really focused on what we got out this afternoon from the USDA, and it showed a little bit of a back off, I guess, in terms of quality out of this corn crop.
You know, we did see the condition ratings move down by about 3%. Analysts were expecting about a 1 to 2% reduction on the good to excellent ratings. We did get that 3%, so we could see a little bit of a bid heading into the night session here. We have been selling the last few sessions, so we could see a little bit of a buying interest in the overnight session. Right. If we take a look at the numbers here and look at the silking progress, if you take a look at this chart, the purple line is what we are experiencing this year for silking progress. The green line was last year, and the blue line is the 5-year average. So you can see that we're well behind the 5-year average, which is 56%. This year we're at 43%, so a little bit behind there. Last year we were actually at 84%, so we're quite a bit behind where we were last year at this time. You know, it's not real concerning right now. It looks like the weather heading into the end of the week is supposed to be mostly favorable. Pretty mild temperatures really throughout the Midwest, so I think we should be able to progress rather quickly through this silking phase without much harm being done. You know, if we take a look at soybeans, 46% is blooming there. 59% is the 5-year average, so we're a little bit behind on the 5-year average as well. And conditions fell by just 1% on the soybeans. You know, we were expecting about a 1 to 2% reduction on the good to excellent rating. We're sitting at 64% right now. This week is the first week that we did get the pod setting phase reported on. 8% is in the pod setting phase. You know, for winter wheat, we were about 75% harvested. 76% is the average there, so we're just a little bit behind on winter wheat as well.
You know, looking at corn and soybeans right now, we did see a little bit of a back off, I guess, in terms of those good to excellent ratings, as you said. But here looking forward, it seems like the weather outlook is pretty darn good for mild temperatures and even a little bit of precipitation for the next week or so. I guess, you know, in light of kind of those two conflicting pressures on the market, what's your bias right now for corn in particular?
You know, I think we're going to trade mostly sideways to lower, especially in the corn market. We are below that $5 level. We might bump above it in the overnight session. That's still going to be a psychological and technical level we're going to have to watch. Is that $5? We finished at $4.98 today. But my bias would be to the downside. I think we do have some support around $4.85, but you know, with the weather forecast the way it is right now and the progress that we are making, I would say that we're mostly going to be moving to the downside.
Okay. You know, one last thing to note here, Brock, we do, just looking at spring wheat here, tomorrow we are going to have the spring wheat tour kickoff in North Dakota, as you can see here from this map. Day 1 of that tour is going to focus on the southern portion of the state. Day 2 is going to be northwestern North Dakota. And then Day 3, wrapping things up, is going to be that northeastern quadrant of the state. Certainly in today's crop progress report, spring wheat is off to a good start here. 68% reported good to excellent by the USDA in today's numbers, and certainly the spring wheat that you and I've seen around here is looking pretty darn good. So wouldn't be surprised if we saw those scouts confirm, in general, a crop off to a good start, but we'll keep you posted on all findings from that tour on Twitter. You can find us over there at GrainTV, and we'll report on it each day here on the GrainTV broadcast to wrap the day up. In general, Brock, I think that's kind of what we saw here today. Certainly a trade that saw a lot of strength there out of old crop beans. We'll have to see what it does tomorrow. We'll keep you posted on all the changes. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you then.